At first, Sam and Cat looked like one of the safest ideas Nickelodeon had ever created. It brought together two massive fan-favorite characters from iCarly and Victorious, and placed them into a brand new story that already had built-in attention. On paper, this was the kind of crossover that should have guaranteed long-term success from the very beginning. When the show premiered, it delivered exactly what the network wanted. Ratings were strong, the audience was engaged, and fans of both original shows showed up in large numbers. For a while, everything pointed towards this being a long-running hit in Nickelodeon's lineup. Behind the scenes, the production was being shaped by Dan Schneider, who had already built a reputation for creating highly successful shows. At the time, his productions were known for being tightly controlled with a strong emphasis on specific comedic styles and pacing. That level of control helped create consistency, but it also meant the environment could be demanding for the cast and crew working on these shows. Over the years, multiple people who worked on Nickelodeon productions from that era have described experiences involving long hours and intense expectations. These accounts became more widely discussed later, especially through interviews, memoirs, and documentary-style coverage that looked back on that time. While Schneider had denied misconduct allegations, the broader conversation about working conditions on those sets has continued to grow over time. As Sam and Cat continued, production itself began to face challenges. Episodes didn't always come together on schedule, and there were delays in filming that affected how consistently the show could release new content. For a show trying to maintain weekly momentum, those kind of disruptions can create real pressure behind the scenes. At the same time, the two leads were in very completely different places in their careers. Ariana Grande was in the middle of a major transition, moving from acting into a full-scale music career that was quickly taking off. That shift meant her schedule was becoming more demanding, with more music commitments adding new layers of responsibility on top of filming. Balancing those two worlds, television and music, was not easy, and naturally affected how much time she could dedicate to the show. As her music career grew, priorities shifted, and coordinating filming schedules became more complicated. This is something that often happens in productions when a lead actor's career begins to expand rapidly beyond the show itself. On the other side, Jennette McCurdy was dealing with a very different kind of experience during this time. She has since spoken publicly about how difficult her time in the entertainment industry was for her, especially as a child actor navigating a high-pressure environment. In her memoir, she describes feeling a lack of control over her own career and struggling with the expectations placed on her. Her perspective adds an important context when looking back at the show, because while everything on screen looked lighthearted and fun, her real-life experience behind the scenes was much more complicated. That contrast is one of the reasons why discussions about the show have become more layered over time. As production challenges continued, the show began to feel less stable. Episodes were delayed, filming schedules became inconsistent, and the overall momentum of the series started to slow down. These are the kinds of issues that don't always look dramatic from the outside, but they have a major impact behind the scenes. There were also rumors and speculation about tension on set, including conversations about cast relationships and pay differences. However, many of these claims were never officially confirmed, and it's important to separate speculation from verified information. What is clear, though, is that the production was dealing with multiple pressures at the same time. At one point, the show even went on a hiatus, leaving some episodes unaired during its original run. That kind of pause is usually a sign that something isn't working smoothly behind the scenes, whether it's production issues or other internal challenges. For fans, it was an early indication that something about the show's future might be uncertain. Eventually, Nickelodeon made the decision not to continue the series. The official announcement was relatively brief and didn't go into detailed reasons, which left a lot of room for discussion among fans. There was no dramatic final episode or clear conclusion of the story. Instead, the show simply stopped production after its initial run. That made the ending feel sudden, especially for a show that had started out with such strong momentum. For many viewers, it felt like the story ended before it had the chance to fully develop. Looking at everything together, it becomes clear that there wasn't just one single reason the show ended. It was the result of multiple factors coming together at the same time, including production delays, shifting schedules, and changes in the cast availability. All of these elements combined to create a situation where continuing the show became increasingly difficult. At a broader level, the environment surrounding Nickelodeon productions during that era has since been widely discussed and examined. Many former child actors have shared their experiences, leading to a larger conversation about how young performers are treated in the industry. These discussions have helped shed light on what it was like working in that space at the time. While not all of these stories are directly tied to Sam and Cat, they do provide context for the environment the show existed in, and understanding that context helps explain why certain aspects of production may have been more complicated than they appeared on the surface. After the show ended, both leads moved on in very different ways. Ariana Grande went on to become one of the biggest pop stars in the world, building a highly successful music career. Her time on the show was just one part of a much larger journey in entertainment. Jennette McCurdy, on the other hand, stepped away from acting entirely. She later chose to share her story in her own words, offering insight into her experiences growing up in the industry. Her perspective helped reshape how many people viewed her at the time on shows like this. When you put everything together, the story of Sam and Cat isn't just about a show that ended early. It's about a combination of behind-the-scenes challenges, career shifts, and larger industry conversations that all came together at the same time. And when that happens, even a successful show can reach a point where continuing is no longer possible. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe if you feel like it.